Hello YouTube, and welcome to Prime Productions. I'm here to help enhance your tabletop gaming experience. So, I know that as of the posting of this video, PaizoCon 2024 was over 3 weeks ago, but believe it or not, there is still a lot to talk about. There were a lot of panels that were released that I didn't get to see because I was busy GMing Starfinder games. Luckily, all of them are archived on Twitch and are being migrated over to YouTube. I am still going through all of that content because there is a lot of it. I already know that there was some stuff that I had questions about from the keynote stream that was actually addressed in later panels. But I wanted to make the video that most excited me, and I haven't seen a lot of other people talking about this particular issue, so let's do it. During the Starfinder 2E panel, the developers leaked the first page of the Operative class. It actually has all of the Operative Playtest class stuff written down on it, levels 1 to 20. But it doesn't explain any of the class features, so it's a giant tease, right? Well, I don't think so. If we use a bit of our Pathfinder 2E knowledge, I think we can figure out almost the whole class. Not any of the class feats or anything, but we can make some educated guesses, and I think we can figure out the class chassis at least. Now, before we go on, I know what you're going to say. This image quality isn't very good. To explain, I'm literally screen grabbing it off of a Twitch stream, so I'm sorry, it's the only copy of the image that we have. It is clear enough to read, if just barely, and I think we can use this image to figure out what is going on. I tried to use some AI software to clean up the text, but that didn't help. So, sorry for the poor image quality, this is literally the best we have as of the making of this video. I'll try to make things easier on you by reposting the text over here. Just sorry for the visually uninteresting video. Anyway, let's start with the basics. The Operative's key attribute is Dexterity, and they have 8 HP per level. That's pretty standard, to be honest. It's the same as the default run-of-the-mill rogue, and is pretty much what we expected from this class. Also, not for nothing, ESEF seems to be returning as the iconic Operative. They were the Starfinder 1st Edition Operative, an agender ace pilot android with no memories, and they were on the run from some nefarious organization. Over here we see that the Operative starts off trained in one skill of their Operative Specialization, which is almost certainly their subclass. Many subclasses in Pathfinder 2e give you a free skill training like Druid, Witch, and Rogue, just to name a few. And remember, Starfinder 2 and Pathfinder 2 use the same system. There's not much else we know about the Operative Specializations right now, but I imagine they will be similar to the specializations from Starfinder 1st Edition in theme, if not actual ability. Among the rest of the initial proficiencies, there's not a lot of surprises. Expert in Perception for finding traps, expert in reflex saves, trained in Fortitude and Will, honestly all kinda par for the course. Like the Pathfinder Rogue, the Operative is trained in simple and martial weapons, unarmored and light armor, and unarmed attacks. However, there's a big curveball here. They are expert in simple and martial guns? And trained in advanced guns? That's odd. Guns don't seem to be a category of weapons in Starfinder, not like simple martial advanced weapons. We can see here in the soldier playtest that the laser pistol is a simple weapon, and I think most of us would call a laser pistol a gun. I think what is happening here is that the Operative is sort of like the Pathfinder 2 gunslinger. They are proficient in normal weapons, but they are expert, and as we'll see, I think they get up to legendary in firearms or guns in the Starfinder case. Now, this may not lock an Operative into playing a ranged character. Later on in the stream, the panelists said that there was a melee Operative build, so there may be a feat or Operative class option that makes melee combat viable. Moving over to the 1 to 20 analysis, we can get a good idea of what the Operative will get. They start off with the standard stuff we all know: ancestry and background, attribute boosts, initial proficiencies, and Operative feat, all of which is common for non-spellcasting classes. We see the first unique Operative ability is Sharpshooter, and if we look at the bottom of the page, we see that Sharpshooter is a class ability that gives the Operative the aim action. Now, we don't know what the aim action is, but if we look back to the first level of the Operative, we see the ability Aim 1d4. I think that the aim action gives the Operative the ability to fire off an attack that deals an additional 1d4 damage, probably with guns. This is likely somewhat similar to a precision ranger's hunt prey or an investigator's studied strike, as we see the number of d4s increases as they gain levels. Now, on its own, if all this did was increase damage to a maximum of 4d4 extra damage, it would be straight up worse than the investigator or the ranger, as the investigator gets up to 5d6 and the ranger gets up to 3d8. However, remember that the operative is an expert and then gets up to legendary in using their guns, so it makes sense that they do slightly less bonus damage to compensate. Remember, you're going to be hitting and critting more often, so balancing that out with slightly less bonus damage makes sense. The next class feature is Operative Specialization, which again I'm 90% sure is their subclass. It is likely that it gives them a few abilities like training and a skill. I have no idea what these are going to look like though, I'm sorry. The last thing they get at level 1 is something called Mobile Reload. This may be a new free feat, kinda like how fighters start off with the shield block feat, or it could be something else. When I first saw this, I was reminded of the running reload feat from Pathfinder 2, so maybe it's something similar to that. Level 2 is simple, an operative feat and a skill feat, pretty standard for most classes. Level 3, the operative gets a general feat and a skill increase, also standard. They do get something called Focused, and that is probably an increase to will saves from trained to expert. Many classes get to bump a save up to expert at level 3. They also get something called On the Move plus 5 feet, which I think is pretty obviously a boost to land speed. Starfinder 1st Edition operatives got bonus movement, and monks and swashbucklers get bonus movement at this level. Bonus speed seems like a safe bet. They do get something called Specialized Skill Set, and at first I had no idea what that was other than a reference to the Taken movie series.
I can tell you I don't have money, but what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
But if you look at Specialized Skill Set, it only appears 3 times over the operative's career, at levels 3, 7, and 15. These are the same levels that tend to unlock the skill levels of Expert, Master, and Legendary, respectively. I think that Specialized Skill Set automatically levels up the skill associated with the operative's specialization, kind of like how the Inventor automatically levels up crafting. This would be great and is a thing I've been asking Pathfinder 2e to do for a long time. For example, I love the Swashbuckler, but playing a pre-remaster Swashbuckler has been a pain because they are basically forced to level up the acrobatic skill and their style skill. So, if Specialized Skill Set does automatically level up the operative's specialization skill, that would free players up to level up the skills they actually want to level instead of just the ones they need for their build to work. Level 4 is the same as Level 2. Level 5 seems to be pretty standard for a martial class, ancestry feat, attribute boosts, skill increase. Their aim still goes up to 2d4, I still think that's some sort of bonus damage mechanic. Master Gunner likely increases their weapon proficiencies to expert and simple and martial gun proficiencies to master. I have no idea what Urban Operator does. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comments below. Level 6 is the same as levels 2 and 4. Level 7 has the standard martial stuff, general feat, weapon specialization, which just increases damage. There are a few class abilities here. Operative's Edge is likely some sort of upgrade or bonus ability the operative gets to their operative specialization, kind of like how gunslingers get their advanced deed at level 9. Operative's Reflexes is likely where the operative gets to master in reflex saves and gets that ability to treat successes as critical successes. Rogues and Swashbucklers get that ability at this level too, and don't forget Specialized Skill Set, which they also get at this level. Level 8 is the same as the other even-numbered levels, with the exception that On the Move increases to 10 feet. Again, I think that's a movement speed increase. At level 9, we get an Ancestry feat and a skill increase. There is also Enhanced Exploit. I don't know what that is, though it is probably some sort of enhancement to the aim action if I had to guess. Operative's Resilience is probably an increase in Fortitude saves from Trained to Expert. Level 10 has no surprises, just the attribute boosts and the standard class feat and skill feat. Level 11 has the standard general feat and skill increase, plus Operative Expertise, which I'm sure just boosts operative class DCs to Expert. Aim goes up to 3d4, and they get something called Masterful Advance. I don't know what this means, but my thought is that it may be something like the mobility feat for rogues, where certain movement actions do not trigger reactions. Level 12 is an even-numbered level with all the standard even-level stuff. Level 13 has a standard ancestry feat and skill increase, plus a few other things. Their on-the-move bonus increases to plus 15. Light armor expertise almost certainly just increases their proficiency in unarmored and light armor to expert, same as when rogues get it. There's also Legendary Gunner, which has them get up to their Master in weapons and Legendary in guns, probably. That's the same level that Gunslingers get that ability. Level 14 is another even level with a standard skill and class feat. Level 15 has all the standard stuff for that level, attribute boosts, general feat, greater weapon specialization, which just further increases damage, and a skill increase. This is all standard stuff for when marshals reach level 15. It also gives us critical aim, which I do not know what it does, but I would guess it would be some sort of further upgrade to the aim action, kind of like Rogue's double debilitation, which they also get at level 15. Also the final specialized skill set, which, to reiterate, I believe auto-upgrades their subclass skill. Level 16 is another even level with the standard stuff. Level 17 has the standard stuff everyone gets at 17, an ancestry feat, a skill increase. Also, the aim action caps out here at 4d4, and they get resolve, which is likely the operative getting master and will saves and that thing where successes count as critical successes. They also get something called Tactical Barrage. I don't know what that is. Let me know if you think you know in the comments below. Level 18 is another even level with all the standard stuff, but also on the move caps out at plus 20 feet. Level 19 has all the stuff you would expect from a martial or near martial at level 19. A general feat, skill increase, light armor mastery, which is likely master proficiency in unarmored and light armor, all of that stuff. They do get incredible senses, which is probably them finally getting up to master in perception, and galaxy renown, which I would hazard a guess gets them up to master in class DCs. It's the same level that almost all the other marshals get that. And we finally end out their run at level 20 with the standard attribute boosts, skill feat, and class feat. So let's say that most of my assumptions are correct. What does that tell us about the operative? Well, they seem to have the gun proficiency of a gunslinger and the ability to deal extra damage of an investigator. Some of you may be confused about some of the choices for the operative, like them not getting legendary in perception or reflex saves. Some may be asking how they can do their job as the Starfinder rogue without these tools, but I'd just like to remind you that you should be able to play a rogue in Starfinder already. Pathfinder and Starfinder are cross-compatible. Most classes in Pathfinder 2e only get to legendary in one thing, if any, excluding skills. Gunslingers get to legendary in firearms and crossbows, spellcasters get to legendary in spellcasting DCs, barbarians get to legendary in fortitude saves. The operative gets to legendary in guns. Look, this is clearly not a rogue, this is a damage-dealing machine. If I'm right about the aim action, then just imagine how much damage this class can do. Imagine most of the bonus damage of a rogue, not all, but most, but also something that is hitting and critting as often as a fighter. I think, clearly, the operative is designed to be a ranged warrior, and likely Paizo has taken the biggest criticism of ranged characters that it's hard to add their full attribute bonus to damage like you can with a strength-based melee character, and they tried to fix it. I don't know how this aim action will shake out, but I suspect a lot of players seeking super high damaging builds will gravitate towards this operative. Or I could be wrong. Look, this is all speculation based on my knowledge of the Pathfinder 2e system and how it works. I'm not employed at Paizo, and I'm not on the Starfinder design team. So, hey, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree with my assessment? Disagree? Let's discuss it. Just try to be civil, yeah? And while you're leaving a comment, make sure to like and subscribe. That tells not only me, but also YouTube that you like this kind of content and would like to see more. Until next time, thank you, good luck, and happy gaming!